you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Star Wars Theory. I'd like to go over the possibility of whether or not Yoda could create life. We know that Darth Plagueis, through Palpatine's conveyance of his knowledge towards Anakin during the opera scene in Revenge of the Sith,
It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians
to create life, alluding to the fact that Anakin was born by his means. We also know that Plagueis was as old, if not marginally older, than Master Yoda. So, it raises the question, did Plagueis and Yoda ever meet? It seems highly likely that two opposite yet equally powered Force users, one bound by the darkness, looking only within, and one having chosen the light, completely selfless towards others, would most likely have met one another at some point in time. Keep in mind that we have only seen Yoda for maybe 60 years of his life. There's another 840 or so years left that we know nothing about. It would not be irrational to think that the two opposing masters met somewhere in this 1,000-year timeline. If they did meet, or at the utmost least knew about one another, then Yoda must have known about Darth Plagueis' ability to cheat death. As Palpatine says here, it's a power that the Jedi didn't want their Padawans to know of, let alone learn.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
To create life is an act of the light side of the Force. There is nothing negative about a child being born. It's the way the child is trained to mature that makes them either good or bad, like Darth Maul. If Plagueis was able to manipulate midichlorians to create life, I am sure that Master Yoda could do the same thing. However, he felt that changing the future was not an act of good, and that altering the galaxy's timeline for his agenda was not the way of the Jedi Order. If this truly was a power that only the Darkside had learned, then I encourage you to watch my video, which I will link at the end, explaining how Yoda always battled with temptations to turn to the Darkside himself. So along his long life, there must have been times where he had turned and thus having delved into the new powers that the Darkside offered, and which Jedi or Sith wouldn't want to learn as much as they could, namely, the ability to create life and stop their loved ones from dying. This raises another question. The Sith don't have loved ones, that we know of really. The reason they turn to the Darkside is because they have nothing, and their existence revolves around hate, pain, and suffering. We have seen Sith shoot Force Lightning, which is a power the Jedi can construct as well, called Force Judgment. Albeit not as powerful due to the lack of pure hatred in the attack from a Jedi, it is still very powerful and the skill has been mastered among select few, such as Plo Koon. But what about Yoda? We see Dooku attack him with Force Lightning where Yoda absorbs the energy into his palm. The absorption of such an immense amount of energy means that it has to go somewhere. Let's take a quick science lesson to high school. The first law of thermodynamics, also known as law of conservation of energy, states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy can only be transferred or changed from one form to another. For example, moving midichlorians together to cause a reaction in a woman and create life, just like how Anakin was made. Now, since this is possible, then the ability to create life is there for anyone to do. The only caveat is for the user to hold the knowledge and the ability to utilize it, like a weightlifter who can deadlift over 600 pounds, whereas some can't. The weight is there for anyone to try to lift it, but it's up to the genetics, training, and ability of the lifter. I think Yoda had this ability. He was even feared by Sidious, as we see in episode 3, when they met near the end of the film to fight, and Sidious tries to run away from him. I've seen theories out there that have some decent evidence showing that Mace Windu was the chosen one and not Anakin, resulting in one reason why he hated Anakin since he was a small boy, denying him training. While Anakin was the chosen one, bringing balance to the Force, he did so after completely destroying the galaxy by his own rule and the Emperor's dealings. It is possible that Yoda created Master Windu himself. Perhaps this is how Windu brings balance to the Force, by harnessing both light and dark side powers, as we see him use the iconic purple lightsaber, which shows his allegiance to the Jedi while harnessing dark side abilities when necessary. With all the meditation that Yoda has done in his 900 years of age and all the techniques he learned, his abilities with the Force were beyond everyone else's. This is also confirmed physically with his green lightsaber, which is indicative of a Jedi who is unimaginably well versed with abilities in the Force. I think if Disney captivates on what the fans want, they'll create an entire trilogy or more on Master Yoda. I hope they see this video and the popularity surrounding Yoda. If they do this, more money for them, and we as the fans get what we want. It's a win-win scenario. I would much rather see an anthology of Yoda versus Han Solo, but both would be even better. What do you think? Do you think Yoda could create life? Do you think he had the ability, or was it something that he could never figure out until he became a Force ghost? Perhaps he learned it from Qui-Gon Jinn, since we know Qui-Gon was the first Force ghost to learn the ability himself and pass it on to Obi-Wan and Yoda. Let me know below. Please hit the thumbs up button. That's all I ask from you guys, and you've all been so supportive of me. We're nearing 40,000 subscribers in 1 month. Just imagine where we'll be by the new year. My milestone is 100,000 subscribers by then, and I'm sure we can do it. This is an amazing community here in the comments, and I'm so happy to be a part of your world. Receiving these nice messages from you all about how you watch my videos before bed or after school to de-stress, it just means a lot to me. It's really great that I can have some sort of calming impact on your lives. Thank you again, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends. I hope you enter the lightsaber contest in the last video, and good luck if you do. I'll see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory, but before I go, remember,
the Force will be with you.